Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first edition of the Traitors of North podcast. I am Michael. This is the co-host Damien,
Hello.
and we're going to be talking about obviously what everybody's buzzing about, the Ohio State and Notre Dame game. We're just going to cover some players. We're going to cover some issues, and we're going to cover potential of this team going forward into the season. So I think obviously huge win. We're buzzing right now. Ohio State's buzzing.
Right. Yeah. Definitely a much needed win.
Much needed win. Had a little concerned at first.
Yeah. There's definitely a few things I noticed off the rip that were kind of concerning me. Um. We can start with the passing game. It's
Yeah.
not very. It's not consistent enough. He is getting those passes out in the clutch moments, which we love that. We love to see that because at least something's working. But we're dude, our third down conversion rate's pretty bummy. And normally we have like a very high third down conversion rate, if ever even going to third down positions. As Ohio State fans, we're extremely used to multiple first downs. On
Oh yeah.
first and second down, we're getting more first downs, huge runs, huge pass plays, and we're not seeing that much right now because of just inconsistent passing from McCord.
Oh
So
yeah.
I mean,
I get that.
I guess in your opinion, how long are you giving him before you're just kind of ready to give up on him, or do you see potential in him? Like, what are your thoughts on that
I
situation?
want to see how he plays against Maryland.
Okay,
Maryland, they're not like obviously, a huge contender in college football, but
right,
it's a conference play. So
exactly. It's a
we'll
team that
see
they can, if they
see how
try
he
hard enough,
plays.
they can make some problems for any team.
Oh yeah. I mean just like us against Northwestern last year,
Exactly. Yeah, that was a struggle
we're
till
supposed
what?
to
At least halftime. We're basically struggling
yeah,
the whole
it was
time.
it was bad. But I'm gonna give him this Maryland game, see how he plays. Obviously I want to see some more targets for Abuka and Marv. I
Yeah,
don't
right
think
on.
Marv's been targeted at all. I mean, yeah, obviously he's got some targets, but nothing like
Yeah,
major.
I mean he's definitely going
So,
to be a guy that gets double covered, and any chance that the opposing team can do so. But he's also a big playmaker, and he is a guy that if you can give him the right ball, he has at least 60-70% chance of bringing that ball down, even in double coverage.
oh yeah, 100%.
Uh,
And
but
that was pretty. What's the word I'm looking for?
it was
I
showcased
don't
very
even know.
well last season with Stroud.
There you go. There you go. Yep.
Granted, Stroud could throw the ball extremely well. Love that guy. But
Stroud
Marvin was always
doing
getting it
good.
done last season. There was huge plays he was making last season.
Oh yeah,
Like you said, I want to see more from
huge plays.
Ibuka. I think that'd be nice. I wish I see more people talking about Cade Stover.
Oh,
I
he's a
feel
beast.
like
Yep. Kid
I'm sure, and
Stover is a
I'm sure,
beast.
like in Columbus and other podcasts, people have been talking about him for a while. But I feel like I don't see too much personally when I'm scrolling through Twitter on stuff about him. Like the big Ohio accounts obviously are talking about him, saying good things. But dude, I swear there was a point during the Notre Dame game where he had like two third down conversions in a row, and on the first one he had like a very nice stiff arm.
Oh yeah,
It,
he was targeted a lot during that last couple drives.
yeah, I've noticed that there's definitely a lot of shorter passing going on, which is
Hmm.
I'm sure something we're not really used to seeing from Ohio State.
I think it might be something that Ryan Day is trying to incorporate in the team, considering McCord's like, not our typical type of QB.
Right, not our
You know,
typical quarterback, not
yeah,
maybe at least right now, not fitting the play style and what we're used to, as usually to what we see with the 50, 40 to 50, 60 yard bombs all day long that are usually caught and end up in a
oh yeah.
touchdown.
Fields, Stroud, they were throwing bombs all down the field. McCord, he's got an arm on him, but he's pretty inconsistent with
Yeah,
his
I think
bombs.
I'm really hoping during this off week they get some good training on him. Maybe even some more like one-on-ones with Ibuka and Harrison and like Stover, just trying to get maybe some more chemistry built up because they did say right that that was McCord's fourth game ever, and that was definitely his first time in that type of environment at a sold out stadium full of very hyper fans at night.
He
Prime
performed
time
well.
television.
Not gonna
Yeah,
lie, he performed very well.
he didn't crack under pressure. Oh, there's probably a good group of people out there assuming that he might have.
Oh yeah,
What are you?
I
I
think
noticed
everybody.
that there's. Oh, go ahead.
I think everybody, Michigan fans, Penn State fans, Notre Dame fans especially, were gonna expect him to throw tremendous amounts of interceptions, be sacked a whole bunch of times, just
Right,
fold under pressure. He kept his composure very well, and I think he did exactly what we needed him to do.
I agree. I agree. I think one thing he is showcasing a little bit better than from last season with Stroud is he's definitely willing to scramble if needed. He might
Oh
not
yeah,
be the most, the fastest or most elusive guy in the field, but he's definitely not afraid to run. or
not at all.
or get out of the pocket to potentially make a play. I respect that a lot. It's something we definitely needed. We got lucky with Stroud's just how good he was at the pocket pass and his ability to place the ball anywhere he was trying to throw it.
Oh yeah,
'Cause let's be honest,
agreed.
he did
He could
not
read.
he was not a scrambler.
I mean,
Um,
that's at certain times he would like try, you know,
yeah, I feel like
but
when Stroud played against Georgia, that was like, dude, if we had that Stroud all year long, we'd have
we
been
would be we
it'd be a
would
whole
beat
different
Michigan.
team. It'd be a whole
Yeah,
different team. They probably could have beat Georgia if they had that type of chemistry going all year.
we should have beat Georgia. I think our
Um,
defense just kind of folded
they
in the second
fumbled,
half.
yeah, and I'm happy that that's not the same defense we have this year. I
Let's
keep
dive into that. Let's dive
okay,
into
let's
the
dive into
defense.
I keep seeing that I don't know which one is true, but I keep seeing that we're fluctuating between like 1 and 2. I seen a post where it said that Ohio State had the number one defense currently and Michigan had the number two. If those two things can stay the same, and both teams can work on their offenses, I think we have like one of the biggest and the best D games that we will probably see in the past few years.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this was already game of the year. It had to be.
Against Notre Dame, I mean,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
100%. You know,
this
you
was this
gotta.
was game of the year.
I don't really know. 100%. I don't know if the last play is a touchdown or not. Obviously, you got people going out there and saying with the screenshots if his knee was down first. I don't really know. Uh, but that was definitely like a beautiful showcase of like effort and
Oh yeah,
wanting to win in that last drive. Because sometimes I feel like there's a lot of times with the Buckeyes where it just feels like they don't want to win the game. It's never that they can't. There's always so much talent everywhere on the team. I just feel like the effort isn't always there, and I don't know if that has anything to do with with the new coaching or not. I feel like I blame a lot of things on Ryan Day not really knowing the ins and outs. Obviously, we're not there. We're
yep.
not. We don't have any ins with the school, anybody like that. But it just seems so different.
I get that. I mean,
Uh,
I think that Ryan Day's doing a great job. Obviously, we're 0-2 against Michigan.
yeah, it's
Um,
easy for a lot of people to be upset with him because it's not he's not Urban Meyer, he's not Jim Trussell,
yeah,
and like those are two guys that were very strong powerhouses in the coaching scene and were he's very well knowledgeable and they always knew what they were doing.
oh yeah.
Uh, if I'm not wrong, are all of Ryan Day's losses under his recruitments? Were all of Urban Meyer's recruitments gone before they were lost to
Um,
Georgia and Michigan twice, and when we lost to Oregon 2 years ago, we were already
rem-
under Ryan Day, right?
I think we were handed like the last year of his recruits.
Which was
I think
only a couple
that's
people, right?
yeah. I think that's why people are saying like, oh, Ryan Day got handed a team. Blah blah
Yeah,
blah
and
blah blah.
see, and even my dad's someone that says that because when we had Urban's players, we were winning. Those kids knew. Because the one a point my dad made was that when Ryan, do you remember when Ryan Day came in for those couple games that Mario was suspended?
I don't remember that. No.
So I want to say it was 2 years ago. There was like a 3 or 4 game suspension where Urban Meyer was gone, and Ryan Day had stepped up to be the head coach. But my dad was saying it seemed like that he basically didn't have to do anything besides just call the plays, because all these players were like they already had the best coaching they could get. They already knew how to win. They knew how to do everything they needed to do to keep getting wins under Ryan Day while Meyer was gone.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and
I could definitely see that. There was
it's
a whole that's a whole different spectrum of coaching.
right,
Obviously, you have one experienced guy who's won multiple huge games at Florida, and then
right,
you have this guy who's just handed a team. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Because but I
But
mean,
it's all respect to him though. He's doing the
right,
best that he can,
yeah,
and he's
he
doing a great
definitely is. I
job.
mean, what is he? 48-6.
Something
Some
like that.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's not bad
And
at all. I
all
mean,
of the losses are against top 10 teams.
yeah, Michigan, Georgia. I'm pretty sure Oregon was top 10 when they beat us.
Yep, they sure
The
were.
Clemson loss,
Yep,
which we
they were
redeemed
even.
ourselves with. We
Yep,
redeemed ourselves with.
absolutely did.
Outstanding game. Uh,
And then Alabama a couple times.
of course,
Well, maybe like once.
which is expected back when it happened. When we did lose to them, that was a little bit more on the side of you could see it coming.
Yeah,
Dude,
definitely.
Alabama's fallen. They're not even top 10 right now,
No, they're not. I
which
don't think
is
they might make it back to the top 10, but honestly, they're not like hot like they used to be.
no. I mean, who is Georgia still number one right now?
Georgia is still number one.
Even after the struggle to South Florida, or was that Alabama? Was it Georgia?
No, that was Alabama that played South Florida. I'm pretty sure.
Who was Georgia struggling to? It was like the same week at halftime they were both losing to
Oh
somebody
God,
I'd
I
never
don't.
heard of.
I don't remember. I usually don't
See,
pay much attention to Georgia.
that stuff is wild to me. I'm glad that we moved back to 4. Um, my viewpoint on it is I definitely think we deserve to be there, but at the same time it's a little hard To feel like we deserve to be there, if that makes sense. Like
No, I get that.
just from what,
Washington's doing really good right now.
yeah,
Not gonna lie.
I seen some people talking about Washington being a real contender.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I might have to tune into a few games.
Michael Penix Jr. He might go for the Heisman this year.
Because I mean, Michigan State is butt
He's
cheeks, and then they lost
Michigan
their
State
coach,
is
so
yeah.
wasn't a whole lot going on in lane. Because they lost what 42-7 at home. They
It
lost
was
to
embarrassing.
Washington.
Yeah,
That
it was
is
embarrassing.
that's bad.
Michael Penix Jr. is leading college football in a lot of things right now. I believe it's passing yards, touchdown passes, and he's like second or third for a couple other things, I believe.
Yeah, I
He's
definitely
he's doing pretty hot, and a good quarterback can lead a team. We've obviously seen
100%.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely
Um,
hoping they do some work with him over the bye week to figure some
oh
things
yeah,
out. Because I mean, you already know every other team that we play now, they know that the passing game is our weak point at the moment on offense. That it's not hard to tell, and
yep,
every team we play is going to fully capitalize that. Because if they can lock down, more of a simple passing game, which is what I feel like we're kind of on right now. Simple
that's
routes.
definitely what we're
Just
running. Simple
if they
routes.
double cover Marv, then there's really not much going on. If Ibuka can't get open, if Stover can't get open,
Hmm.
um, so I know, we probably both noticed how much the run game has increased this season.
Oh yeah, we're
Uh,
we're deep in the run game.
it's not because we always have good running backs, which I love. I mean, there's always someone in the pocket back there who can run and will run, but it's not as common as it is right now. What are your thoughts? Do you think that's because they just really can't trust Kyle on second down? Because like first and second down, it could be second and 10, we're throwing the ball again.
Yeah,
And I know you noticed a lot, especially with the Notre Dame game, that almost every second down they're running the ball.
I think it potentially does have something to do with McCord not being able to complete some passes or get the ball where it needs to be. But I
Are
also
you a
think
fan of having more run game involved, or
I am
do you
honestly
think it's
because
something we
it
could get punished for?
could go either way. To be completely honest with you, but I think it's a good thing that we're getting more of our run game going. We have such a good depth in our running back right now. We have
Yeah,
we got Henderson,
mm-hmm. Beast,
Williams, and
beast.
then we have obviously Chip. You
Yeah,
know,
dude, I didn't know that he was a senior this year. I didn't know he
oh,
came
is
from. Yeah, he came from either Arizona or Arizona State, I think. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, he's a senior. So that actually kind of made me sad, and I found that out because, from what I've seen, dude, every time they put him in the game, he makes something happen.
oh yeah,
I've
he
seen him
does.
do 30, 40-yard runs for touchdowns. I've seen him punch in the ones and the twos and we need. He definitely seems like a real playmaker. I've
Oh
seen him
yeah,
convert a couple third downs. So that's going to be a shame to see him go. Um when do you what week do you I guess do you think that the passing game is more collected?
like previous weeks or looking ahead.
Looking ahead, like how many more weeks do you think the that Ohio State needs before they can feel more comfortable going for passing on second down, third down?
I think after this bye week, we're gonna have a little bit more of a playbook, just because we're coming off a big win. Obviously this is our toughest opponent. We're going to Maryland. Um, I think that Ryan Day is going to try to incorporate some new techniques, something different for Kyle, something different for our wide receivers. Obviously, the O line needs to be a little more protective. I think they did a good job, but they need to be a little more protective,
Okay,
especially coming up against Penn State, coming up against Michigan. We need to work on just locking down that pocket.
I agree.
Letting him get some more time to feel a little more comfortable.
I get we can
Um,
dive back into what you were saying earlier. So the defense.
yeah.
What do we think about that, man? That is definitely a defense that I can easily say we haven't seen in 2, 3 years.
Oh yeah. This is definitely
Um,
the best defense we've had in 2 years for sure.
because
Um,
the past couple seasons it was really just absolutely killer offense and a defense that can get us by.
mediocre defense for
Yeah,
sure.
the offense
Our
was just
second
good enough to keep going.
our secondary's definitely improved.
I
Our
like that a
secondary's
lot.
been locking down a lot of these wide receivers, not letting them get many passes in.
I feel like a shitty fan for not really knowing too many of their names, but what's his name? Eichelberger? He's a
Yeah,
linebacker, I think. That dude,
Michael Eichenberg or some shit.
dude, that guy's getting his name out there for
Oh yeah,
sure. I'm sure he was doing
JT
stuff. Is this his?
Tuimoloau, he's
Was
he's
he
doing
there last
great.
season? Eichelberger?
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
Yep, he was there
maybe
last
I
season.
did. Maybe not too much happened last season. That was still when our defense was a little iffy. But dude, there's definitely been some big plays happening right now on the
Oh
defense. I
yeah,
like that.
oh
Had a
yeah.
couple picks this season. Good amount of sacks, dude. The pass rush is good. I think
Oh
the
yeah,
run defense is really good, minus the
oh
Notre
yeah.
Dame. But supposedly they have the number one guy in the country, so I expected him to. Honestly, I expected him to do a little more.
Hmm.
I think he had what only two or three like big 20-yard runs, if that.
So we shut
Uh,
him down. We shut him down for sure.
I seen that our defense is number one in like yards allowed per game, passing yards allowed, rushing, damn near like all the categories. They're pretty much number one in right now.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think's changing the defense to allow it to happen?
Obviously the secondary. Being able to lock down some top tier wide receivers and not having many options for their QB to throw to, kind of changing their other opponents, changing our opponents um, type of game that they need to play. Obviously, we got a good secondary. We're locking them down. Oh, Notre Dame's thinking, okay, well, we'll just give it to the running back. He'll do some work. Well, now we got a D line that's coming in, shutting the run game down. So they're trying to scramble, figure out what to do. Maybe a little check down here, maybe a little slant up the middle. But even then, we have a good set of linebackers.
Right.
So I just think overall we're doing pretty well, and I think our secondary is really what's boosting the confidence of this
Oh
defense.
yeah,
Because if you remember last year, our secondary was pretty shaky.
yeah. I mean, there was definitely long balls happening on us pretty often. I mean, I don't want to talk about it, but Michigan did it to us like four times in a row.
Yeah,
And like
it was
three of those
embarrassing.
resulted in touchdowns. I mean, one of them was a tight end with two broken tackles. Uh, honestly,
It was
dude,
embarrassing.
it looked like the Lions tackling 3 4 years ago when it's just like they touch him. They don't even wrap their arms. They just touch him and he's gone.
Yep.
That was definitely yeah. The defense this year I'm proud of. It's I guess I could even say it's impressive to see the difference in the two seasons, and it's technically a short period of time to have
Hmm.
such a drastic change in the two things. And I'm definitely glad that our defense has progressed like that because it's giving us a little more wiggle room on the offense while we're struggling there right now. It's good to have a defense that's stable. That
Oh yeah.
most of
Even
the
if we,
time, they're securing McCord a lot of play time. The defense isn't on the field for very long usually. If they
yep.
do, we're still holding people to 3 points, if nothing. So I think they're doing a good job of getting McCord as much play time because it's not hard to tell that pretty much the whole team is kind of like adjusting to McCord because at Ohio State, the quarterback's one of like that's it's one of our huge things.
Yeah,
Besides
we always
that,
have a good
yeah,
quarterback.
besides receivers, what we're most known for is quarterbacks, and then you can go
Hmm.
into defense. But like, it's a little difficult with how new he is. He definitely could be way worse. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
I'm not here to shit on him.
we
I'm
could
not
be
the
horrible right now.
I'm not the
That's why I'm
happiest guy
I'm
in the
glad he's
world,
doing
but
good.
I'm definitely happy that they picked him over Brown. Um, I don't really want to shit on Brown, but I don't even know if that guy like really should stay at Ohio. I don't think
I
it's
want to say that I
and
think we
it's
should see how the first half of the season goes and then make
that's
that
fair.
judgment
It
call.
hasn't been too long, but by how things are looking, I guess it just doesn't look like we're gonna be a school where he's gonna get a bunch of playtime.
Yeah.
Not to say that he's like that awful of a quarterback or that bad of a I just don't think that he'll get the playtime he wants or the recognition he wants to at Ohio State. Obviously the same thing happened with Joe Burrow.
Yep.
He just didn't fit the team back then. Wasn't better than Fields. Wasn't better than the other guy we had at the time.
And we had
Uh,
JT, and then what was the other guy's name that passed away?
Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins. Yep.
Yep.
So I
And then
mean, we were already stacked.
yeah, our QB.
Those were our guys for like what, 4 years, 5 years.
There's a video I saw it the other day. There's a video somebody has of Joe Burrow, Dwayne Haskins, and it's either Fields or Barrett, and they're all
I
in
think
this.
it's Barrett.
They're all in the same locker room with the Ohio gear on. It's nuts.
Yep.
It's nuts to know that like at one
Oh, and
time
they're coming out of the tunnel.
yeah, to know that our
Yeah.
QB room was like that. It was that stacked. And it usually is.
Oh yeah.
McCord's definitely
Which
a whole new aspect to Ohio State football.
yeah, he definitely is.
Um,
But
but I'm
he's
here to
making
roll with
good
it.
adjustments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
here to
here to
roll
roll
with
with
it.
it.
I mean,
I'm glad
4 now.
that he's here and he's adjusting.
So, granted, did we play two bad teams? Yeah, it's usually how it goes. But we also played okay, three bad teams. I don't want to
Okay,
give
but
Indiana too much credit. However, it's a
okay,
Big Ten game away, first game of the season.
exactly,
That's putting a lot of pressure on. Um,
exactly. And then since you want to say, we played three bad teams off rip, no shit to Indiana, but they're Indiana. Michigan,
right.
obviously they played what? Who did they play? Um,
They have played East Carolina. That was the game one.
Carolina.
Game two, oh, fuck, really can't remember.
Yeah, I don't
And
pay
then
too
they've
much
played
attention.
Bowling Green.
Which, by the way, McCarthy had 3 interceptions against
Yes,
Bowling Green.
I peeped that. I have noticed. Is that usually what he does? No, I have
No,
no idea
not
what's
against
going
Bowling
on.
Green. Now
Yeah,
imagine everybody holds Ohio State to such a high standard. Imagine if McCord threw 3 interceptions against.
they would want him off the campus immediately.
Oh yeah,
They would
they
want
would have
that kid to,
they would have found his parents' house. They would have burned his parents' house down.
yeah, how
Flipped their cars over.
whatever scholarship education system he had with Ohio State, they would have wanted that shit ripped up, thrown in the fire.
He's going to JUCO after that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I I don't want to sound like I'm giving too much credit to Michigan, obviously, but I'm a real person. I see when a team is excelling. I see when a team is good. I think Michigan should be held to higher standards now,
They definitely should.
especially after beating. Like, if it's been 1 year, since they have been doing good,
Yep.
maybe I wouldn't feel the way I do. But 2 years of what, Big Ten champs back to back? Yeah, they beat us
Yep.
twice in a row to win the Big Ten. Yeah, I think they should definitely be held to a higher standard. I feel like I'm seeing too many people praise them just for winning the game and not enough people criticizing the struggles that they're seeing throughout those games. Like, obviously, people are mad that he threw the picks, but I feel like people are more happy that they won instead of being like, man, we really
Realizing where
struggled there. Like, that shouldn't have
yeah,
happened. That game shouldn't have went that way. Like, we can't
that was
keep
our
playing like this and expect a victory at the end of the season in the big
yeah.
games. Because that's the
And
same
this
thing that's
past
going through
week,
my head with Ohio. I mean, if we the Notre Dame game was solid, but if we play like that, like if the offense, is struggling like that, all the rest of the season, we're done.
oh yeah,
There's no Big Ten win. There's probably no shot at the playoffs, and if we do, we'll more than likely get smacked by whoever we play round one.
yep.
Um,
And this past weekend, I was talking to Michigan fans because obviously they were wanting to talk trash.
right,
Um, and I was telling them their offense hasn't put up over 40 points this whole season, and they've played dog water teams.
exactly.
Like I don't pay too much attention to Michigan, by the way.
I mean, I
So
obviously,
I don't know.
Alexis is a huge U of M fan, just as big as
Yeah.
I'm a Ohio State fan. So it's very every Saturday watching all the games.
Yep.
I try to
And I
watch
don't.
as many as I can just to have an insight in what's going on in the league, because I don't want to miss anything.
Yep.
Like I try to pay attention to at least the top 10. I don't want to say other teams are irrelevant, but the top 10 is mainly what's going on. If you're not in the top 10, by week 5 or 6, you're probably not gonna be in any type of wild card factor, any shot at the playoffs. If you're not in the
Unless
top
you
10,
play
but
unless you play a top 5 team later
right,
on.
and whoop their ass.
Yeah.
Just winning the game probably won't be enough.
Well, what
Move you
was
up,
it? It was either last week or the week before that, week 3. Texas was tied with Wyoming 10-10
right, and then they
all the
beat
way.
Alabama. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on with that,
Where's
dude.
where's the criticism for Texas? Everybody just kind of overlooked Texas, like, oh, okay, they were tied with Wyoming, whatever, and then they won. But like, if we beat Alabama or the equivalent to Alabama, let's say it's three. What's the word I'm looking for?
Theoretically,
Theoretically, let's say we played Michigan like super early on in the season, just like Texas did Alabama, and we beat Michigan, and then we went to go play Toledo, and we were tied 10-10 with Toledo. That would be our ass. You
yeah,
know what I'm
all
saying?
people would just make fun of us,
Yeah.
calling us
And then
trash right away.
and Texas is number 3 in the nation, and they don't get
Which
any
is I don't.
reparations.
I'm not trying to sit here and say that's crazy, but that's definitely a team I thought I'd never see in the top 10 for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know they were cooking like that over there. I don't know what's going on in Texas, but obviously something somewhat good is happening.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'm never one to fully agree with the rankings, because it feels like the official ranking is weird because it's usually like, a bunch of people at ESPN that have their own ranking systems, and then it feels like they kind of just put them together and whatever matches the most with each other as they go with.
Yep.
Because I feel like I don't know what they're judging it on.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because honestly, that game that we beat, who did we beat? 62-10.
Western Kentucky. It's like
Western
63 to
Kentucky.
30, 63 to 10, I think. Some shit like that.
Yeah, some shit
Something
like that.
ridiculous.
And then Michigan only beat who they played Bowling Green that week,
Yeah.
like 30, 31 to something or
And
30,
what's nuts
30 something
about
something.
when we played Western Kentucky's was, dude, like first quarter, entire first quarter struggling.
Yep.
Entire first quarter struggling. About half of that second quarter, maybe a little less than half, struggling. Like honestly struggling. And out of nowhere there's a one play
Just
touchdown, one drive,
we
one
turned
play
up.
drive touchdown. You know, the defense is stellar, get the ball back, another one play drive touchdown.
Hmm.
Uh I had it like dude, I don't know, there was like 7 minutes left in the second quarter, and I had left to go to Sean's and it was like 14-10 still or something like that. And by the time I got to Sean's house, 10 minutes away, it was 42-10, and like 4 or 5 minutes had only passed in game.
Yeah, bro.
So I didn't.
It was a
I'm
wild ride.
I'm really upset that I missed it. I can only imagine. I'm sure I can assume what happened and probably be right. Just massive drives, massive plays. It's what I would
Back to
expect once
back to
they get
back to
the
back to
once
back.
they get the rhythm going. I expect that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, to be winning 42-10 at half with like within 7-8 minutes of in-game time was extremely wild. I'm
Yep.
sad I missed it. I'm glad it happened. Um, I definitely like don't really believe in to stop putting the hurt on a team, especially when we're in the position we're in when McCord needs to have as many opportunities to throw all the balls he can.
Yep.
Short, medium, deep balls, all types of routes, all types of receivers. Because no matter how good Marvin is, we can't only rely on him and Ibuka. That we're gonna play teams that are gonna do everything they can to always double cover one, if not double cover both of them.
Like Georgia
Um,
last year.
yeah, if they can double cover both our receivers, and then just have a couple, like a safety maybe or a couple linebackers just lurking, um, on Kate Stover and our running back, it'll be a problem.
Yeah, it could definitely be a problem.
Especially,
That's where I feel like our run game really comes in handy. That's why I think that we're kind of starting to incorporate that a little more.
it's definitely
Just in
not. I
just in
I'm a big fan of
just
what
in
I see from
case.
the run.
Oh yeah, just in case we do end up with that team that thinks, okay, we're going to be pass dominant against whatever their defense is looking like. So they start doubling covering people, playing zone, playing a lot of man,
Hmm.
like you know, um, and then we just start running the ball, and then they got to change up their whole defensive plays, and then we'll just go back to the air. We have a lot of options there on offense. We
Yeah,
just need McCord to really step up.
it was definitely different. Like playing against all these teams that knew we were gonna pass, but they just couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
Like
Granted, we
we didn't have to
haven't
switch
played
up the
like the
playbooks,
greatest
and
teams
yeah,
yet.
we didn't have to throw a random run in there because they just couldn't stop the pass.
Yep.
It's very different. Like almost not knowing what is about to happen. Like you have no idea if it's gonna be run or a pass. I feel like a lot of times I've definitely like almost known that it's not gonna be a deep ball. I feel like we haven't really seen much of the deep balls. I feel like
Thrown a couple here and there.
yeah, I can count like 3 or 4 that I remember like actual deep, 40+ yard passes that
Yep.
were completed and turned into touchdowns.
But there ain't much. I mean, he does need some work on that. I
Yeah,
don't think
no,
he's
there's
extremely
definitely
comfortable yet.
no, and that's definitely Ryan Day probably is playing a big part in that. Restricting, I guess, what pass plays we're doing because right now the most important thing is winning and progressing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and if we just go out there and let all pass plays happen, we're bound to throw multiple picks. Uh, the stats aren't going to be good. The points probably won't be as high.
Don't want to look like McCarthy
Uh,
out there. That's for sure.
no, I mean, because I hate to say it, dude, but like I'm nervous every week now for what's gonna happen. Like if
Honestly, I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, I am a little nervous for every week. I mean, even playing Western Kentucky, like what was it, 1 or 2 years ago, they were decent.
yeah,
It
I
was like
mean,
2 years ago they were pretty decent.
I don't know who. I have no idea who they play. What conference or division they're in, but they were 2-0, and that was enough for me to be like, damn, bro, like
They're out here winning.
yeah, like they're on a streak. Like we're on a streak. They're on a streak. Like they're here to end
Yeah.
our shit. And it's
Now,
also tough knowing that every single team knows our weakness because it's so
obvious.
clear. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
obvious. It's so clear. Um, I believe in them.
Now, one thing I do want to say, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But last I checked, Maryland was undefeated. I don't know if they won this last week or if they had a bye.
We can definitely check right now.
Yeah, pull that up because last I knew, I'm pretty sure they were like 3-0. I could be wrong.
They are 4-0 because they beat Michigan State 31-9.
Okay,
Expected. Michigan State's
expect
just falling apart.
expected.
Pretty much anybody could go to their stadium and dog walk them now.
But these are two 4-0 teams coming to play. Obviously, we've had the hotter game in the past week, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Maryland plays this week.
Yep. They
I'm not
play
sure who they're playing.
Indiana.
Indiana. Okay, so
So they'd
obviously
be.
we'll be watching that.
Oh, let's see here. September 2nd was the first day of the season, right?
I
Yeah.
believe so. Yeah.
I don't. So they beat Tosin. I don't know who it is. 38-6. Then they beat Charlotte 38-20. They beat Virginia 42-14. I feel like that's a
Oh,
decent game to
okay.
recognize. Virginia's not like the absolute worst. Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
they're
it's a
not
school more
the
people know
greatest.
of, right? But 42. I mean, they're putting up points, dude. They're 38, 38, 42, and 31 on Michigan. So they're averaging over 30 points a game. Probably over 30. Yeah, over 35 points a game.
Yeah,
So that
that's
that
pretty
means that
good.
their offense is somewhat on the something.
Yeah,
Um,
and I mean, they haven't played the best teams, but their defense seems to be holding up pretty solid too.
yeah, I think we
So
should
I
definitely
think,
both watch this game on Saturday. They're gonna play
yep,
Indiana at 3:30. Um,
I think we should treat this as if we're playing Notre Dame again. I mean, they're 4-0, they're hot.
yeah, they're hot.
Yeah,
And if they win this game, they're gonna be 5-0, and they're not gonna want us to ruin that.
no,
So
not at all. I don't even remember the last time Maryland was 5-0.
if I don't either, dude. Honestly, there's probably so much hype in that locker room. I'm definitely curious to see how they play. I mean, obviously, because how they perform against Indiana will showcase a little bit since we had to play them week 1 away and held them to
Yep.
3 points. We had a slow start. That's okay. Picked up, in the second half.
I
Hate to
mean, yeah,
say it.
it was McCord's first start, so
I definitely, I definitely hope our second half team conspiracy goes away at some point. Um, like I said,
I'd love to see that too.
when we put up 30 plus points in the last couple minutes of second quarter, that was nice. Um,
Not very often though.
no, because I'm definitely used to
Usually it's
us.
like third quarter.
Yeah, usually we're like what within a score or two most times at halftime, and then they really take off.
Yeah, I'd say we're up at
Which
least like usually 3 touchdowns a half, two or
I
three
never,
touchdowns.
I never understand why. I never understand what that is. If it's just like
Getting the jitters out or something.
you think so, just getting a feel
Maybe.
for the place and what's going on.
Yeah, I guess you
That's
could say
fair.
that. But I mean, at home it should be a little different. You know, at home we should be comfortable.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, they should be fully comfortable the whole time, surrounded by red. I feel like. Okay, what
Let me
were man? What I
let
don't
me
even
look
remember.
something up
What
real
were?
quick.
Go ahead. What were our home games this year?
Let me check.
Why am I struggling to think of that? Because Notre Dame and Indiana games 1 and 4 were away.
Western Kentucky
Was
and
at home.
Youngstown State.
Okay, and those were okay. That's tough because like those teams. Let's be real. Like, dude, not good.
Not good.
When you're comparing it to like the football we're used to, they're just not good teams.
No.
Maybe they're good in their divisions and like the type of football that gets played in those conferences and whatnot. But
Yeah,
like
but
compared to us, they're not good.
they're coming to Power Five schools. You know,
Exactly.
like
Um,
you guys might put up a little something in the first quarter.
yeah.
Obviously
So
they did,
they
but
did, which was like honestly, it kind of had me upset, dude, because like we're home, shouldn't be like I get McCord should really be the only person that's like anxious, nervous, like
yeah, I think our O line's a little newer too, so I think they're starting to warm up a
they're doing
bit.
good.
Yeah.
They're definitely doing good. I mean, obviously, there's been a few times. There's quite a few times during the Notre Dame game where they were getting to McCord,
Mm.
but he was getting on it. He was moving.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
was completing passes.
I don't remember. I should have watched the game again. I don't remember if he got sacked
He
more
might have got
than
sacked a couple times.
1 or 2 times. Um, I
I
will.
know we got to
He's
Hartman. We got to Hartman a couple times,
yes, that was
which is
nice.
good.
That
Yeah.
it's very good, dude. I love to see that. Um,
Now, so we got Maryland in 2 weeks, and then we have Purdue, which isn't the worst team in the Big Ten.
is that home or away? The Purdue game.
Let me check. Not sure. I don't
Is it?
even know what Purdue's record is, to be honest. I just
I don't
they
either.
weren't the best team.
I do think they won over the weekend. I feel like I saw a pick six highlight and dude threw up right after. Something like that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
did see that.
I don't know if that was the game winner or not, but I did they win? I feel like they won their game.
I think they did. All right, so Maryland is at home, and then we're at Purdue the next week after that, and then we're back at home to play number 6 Penn State.
See, I am extremely happy that we're at home for Penn State because in my eyes, dude, Penn State's better. I mean, on the rankings, they're better than Notre Dame right now.
Yeah,
But
for
Penn
sure.
State, no matter like where they end up on the rankings, I feel like it's always a good game because it's
It's a
we're
tough environment to play in.
Ohio State is one of those teams where they're going to try.
Yeah,
They're gonna try to win, and it's you see the same thing with last year at Michigan State. Like, dude, they suck, but they beat Michigan because that is like to Michigan State. Michigan is the one game where it's like they're gonna play their hardest.
Yeah, that's
Everything they
really
have
what
is
matters on their
yeah,
schedule.
right. I mean, and fuck it, dude. It was nice.
Yeah,
I was
it
happy when
was.
they won. I'm sure they were happy. Um, but yeah, I'm curious to see what they do in the in this off week here. I'm definitely gonna watch this Maryland game
Oh yeah,
on Saturday because I just want to see what's going on. I'm glad that I'm glad that the Penn State game's at home. Makes me a little less nervous. Definitely going to their stadium would make me a little nervous, especially because like that would mean that besides Maryland, two of the three big games we've played this year would have been away
yeah.
at that point. Um,
I mean, we got it out the way. You know,
that's
like
true. I think it almost might be good for them to have more away games this year because we do play Michigan and Ann Arbor.
yeah, that's gonna
Um,
be tough.
and yeah, that's an environment. I mean, you were there, you witnessed it. That shit is packed for. That's different.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna sound a little weird, but I went this past weekend when they played Rutgers, and there
Yeah, I
was like
mean,
105,000 people in that stadium just to
ready
watch
to
Rutgers.
ready to go,
Yeah,
dude. I mean, it's insane.
yeah. I mean,
I mean they don't they have the biggest stadium in football, and then like we're like third, fourth,
I think
maybe
so.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and those fans are for it.
Oh yeah,
You know
they're all for it.
they got their new lights and their new stuffs and all
You know,
that good shit.
the good thing about the big house is that they don't serve alcohol inside the stadium.
They
Because
don't.
I'm pretty no, they don't. So I'm sure that's for a specific reason because there'd be a lot of fights.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 105,000 people, something bad is bound to happen, even
Yeah,
between fans of the same team. That's just gonna happen.
I only seen a handful of people that were wearing Rutgers stuff, but I'm
I'm
sure
sure
there's
there's
gonna be
some.
that one drunk guy that buys too many beers at the
Yeah,
concession, and he's just gonna be blah 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 blah.
and that's usually how it goes. You can
Yeah.
there's every place you go, there's one person that
Oh yeah.
always got something to say that's not really like any type of factual information. It's usually just a bunch of bullshit and nonsense and
Yep.
excuses for what's going
Just
on instead of
drunk
like,
rambling.
yeah, 100% just drunk rambling. I feel like I hear that all the time when I go to beat ups on Saturdays
Oh
for
yeah.
why things are happening.
That's why I try to stay away from public settings on the weekends
Dude, it
for
just makes
college
me
football.
smile. I like hearing them complain. It's just,
Dude,
and the thing
people.
is like, I'm not here to ever shit on someone's fan base, but at least most of the ones that I encounter of like the Michigan fans when I'm out in public watching the games is, dude, a lot of them I just feel like they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, I
There's
feel that.
not a lot of like actual football knowledge going on or like paying attention to the teams and the players and the coaching staff and all that. It's just like they're just a fan to be a fan.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, and for some reason, it's always the people that are just a fan to be a fan that talk the most. Because I'm sure me and you can have a conversation with, yeah, we can find a Michigan fan, have a real conversation with them any day.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
as
I
long
mean,
as they're not the more typical fans in the football world that are, just a fan to be a fan. They
yeah.
just exist in the community.
Yep.
Um,
Person I had a conversation with this past weekend, he just kept bringing up, "Oh, we beat you the past 2 years. We beat you the past 2 years." You guys aren't really doing like incredible. I mean, I'm not gonna discredit Michigan for how they've been playing.
I mean, it's the
they're a
best
good
they've done in a decade.
yeah, they're a good squad. But I mean, granted, I haven't watched them, so I don't know if they're putting in you know backups. I don't know if they're changing out their defense, trying new offensive players or
I
what. But I
haven't
mean,
seen
you guys
too
haven't
many
put up
changes. JJ is
crazy amount of
definitely
points.
in a lot. JJ is definitely playing a lot of snaps.
Yeah, I'm sure he plays the
Almost,
whole game.
yeah, pretty much the entire game. I hardly ever see him come out. I really can't remember a time he came out. Besides, like when they still had McNair last season, and
Yep,
his ass went to Iowa. Um,
and they're not doing too well.
no, it's tough for him. I didn't they just get they just got hammered over the
Yeah,
weekend,
they
didn't
just got
they?
destroyed. I don't remember by who, but they got destroyed. But I think this
Was it
past weekend when they
no?
were
Was
playing
it Penn
Rutgers,
State?
I think it was Penn
No.
State. Yeah, I think it was Penn State. I think Penn State put a finger in their butt.
Let me check real quick.
But this past weekend, when I was watching the Rutgers game at the Big House, I'm pretty sure they only played Orgy for like a couple plays and then put McCarthy back
Yeah.
in.
Okay. Yeah. Penn State beat him 31-0.
Yikes!
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Yikes! That is
That
tough.
shows. I mean, Penn State just took our last spot. They're at number 6 now.
Yeah, they moved up. I think one spot. I think they were seven before.
Yeah, we were 6. So I wonder. I wonder what's changing that because like if you were to look at it realistically, right? Maybe not now, but like you would think that Iowa is better than Western Kentucky, Youngstown, and even Indiana.
Yeah,
To completely shut out Iowa, I feel like that says something.
that's
I
a
feel like
statement.
it definitely shows that they're ready to play. They're
They
ready to
are
play
ready to
against
play.
us. They're ready to play against Michigan.
Penn State's been coming up these past couple of years. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean they always have a
They've been
solid
doing.
running game. That's one
Yeah.
thing that they always seem to have a running back that can get it done.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm not sure who their quarterback is this year.
yeah, I don't know if it's the same guy or not. He wasn't bad.
Clifford graduated. I
He
don't
did.
think he can play. Yeah.
Did he enter the draft? You
I
know?
don't know if he went anywhere. No, he might have went to like the Canadian League or something.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah, I mean he wasn't terrible. He had his times where he was making plays and shit. I
oh
was
yeah,
there to watch a few games. Um,
oh yeah, he was making plays.
yeah, dude, I don't know. There's a lot going on this season, and I'm
There's
here
a
for
lot
all
going
of
on this
it.
season.
There's a lot of questions to be asked, a lot of questions to be answered.
There's a
Um,
lot of questions to be answered.
I'm glad that we're getting answers on the defensive side of the ball. It's a great feeling. Um,
Knowing that we have a good defense is it's a pretty good feeling every week. Knowing that like okay, even if we don't perform on offense, we can still rely on our defense. Maybe get us a couple points. Let us get the ball back. Try again.
I say we have a pick
That
six this year, right? At least one,
yeah, I think we have two. If I'm not mistaken.
two.
It might just be one.
I know I remember seeing one for sure. I don't know about seeing two, but I mean it's either way it's good. It's nice to have. Um,
It's nice.
what else can we cover here? I'm trying to think.
Um,
We're at 41 minutes, so it's up to you if you wanna
oh
pick
wow,
like
we're at 41 minutes.
yeah we're at 41 minutes already, so we can like if you want we can just pick one more topic then wrap it up. We wrap it up here.
I think we should just wrap it up here. Call this one a pretty solid pod.
All right, you guys, you heard the man. That was Pod One,
That was
Episode
pod
One
one.
from Traders Up North. That's what we're going with.
Yes, sir.
If you
Raiders up
can't ever figure
north.
out why we're called that, then maybe maybe we'll throw a hint out there later in the future, but it should be pretty obvious.
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know if you want to see a hint.
And then yeah, so should we
I
record? Do you
think
want to
I,
do
I
an
think I
episode
already
next
get.
week?
I think I already gave a hint to the people.
Definitely, yeah. I think
Yeah,
yeah,
I gave a hint
definitely.
to the
Just
people.
remember that earlier. Yeah, earlier in the
Yep.
pod we just talking about that. Do you want to do another episode before after this weekend?
I think we could
Um,
do one this weekend with the bye. I think
yeah,
we'll have enough time
we can watch
where we can do one this weekend.
some of the games. Some of the people are gonna be playing. Definitely Maryland. Um, maybe catch that. Maybe catch if Purdue's not on a bye week, we can catch that. Catch
Yep.
a couple. I'll try to catch them. Maybe a quarter or two of a Penn State game, just to
Michigan
see.
plays at 3:30, so I definitely want to see how they play.
And that's against who?
Indiana, no, not Indiana. I'm not sure who they play to
I'm
be
gonna look real
completely
quick.
honest
That's
with you.
important. That's honestly important information.
It is. I don't think they play anybody spectacular.
I hope
Yeah, I
people
think.
don't think that we're like not shit talking Michigan. That's really not how we do things. We're here to be more realistic and
Yeah,
actually talk about Ohio State and their problems and issues. We're gonna cover other
I
teams.
do
We're
like to
obviously
bash
we're gonna talk
Michigan
about
though.
Michigan. We have to. It's almost a given that we have to cover them somewhat. It's
Part of
our
our
rival,
religion.
but yeah,
Yeah,
but we're definitely here for Ohio State. So Michigan plays Nebraska this weekend.
Nebraska. I don't think they've been doing too hot, have they?
No, so
That should be an easy win for them.
honestly, man, I thought Michigan's schedule was gonna pick up after the first. Let's see, one, two, three, 4 games, but it's Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana for the next 3 weeks. Michigan State, Purdue, Penn State. If you want me to be 100% honest with you, bro, that first real game, if Michigan State can pull something out of their ass, then I'll give it to
Yeah,
them then. But realistically, their first, dude, it has to be like Purdue, and they're not even ranked.
and Minnesota might give them something. I don't know.
Michigan does not play not even a ranked team until November 11th when they play Penn State.
That's
That
embarrassing.
is 2 weeks before they play us,
Yeah, so they played two ranked teams in the last
which
what
in the whole
3
year,
weeks.
they're
Yeah,
going to play 2 ranked teams the whole year, us and Penn State. Because
and
after
then they're
Penn
gonna.
State, it's Maryland, then us.
Okay,
So,
they're a
dude,
good squad, but you can't
they,
just
yeah,
go playing nobodies like the whole season. You
Right.
know
I
what
mean,
I'm
and there's
saying?
definitely a difference between like true nobodies like East Carolina and Bowling Green and,
Yeah.
Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana. There's gonna be more to offer in those games because they are bigger schools,
Oh, for
but
sure.
they're not standout football schools. So
No.
I'm curious to see what they do with Michigan's rank. Um, Sometimes they definitely fail to take who they play into account when things happen.
They definitely
There's a
do.
lot of times where it just seems like the win is what's getting people by.
Yep. 100%.
And it's just
I mean,
how it is.
it's pretty obvious with Texas. You know,
Yeah. If as
I don't
long
even know. I don't even know. I don't. I gotta look that up and see if they played Wyoming this past weekend or if it was previous
if we
weekend.
can stay top 4 for rest of the season, I'm happy. I'm not really going to be too upset if Michigan stays at number 2 or 3 or whatever they're doing. Um, if they keep playing how they're playing now and things don't change for the better in the passing game or their
Yeah.
defense in the first half, they're going to be struggling.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think
God said that.
the first team that gives them some troubles could be Indiana. Um, I definitely see them putting up more than 3 points on Michigan. Like we held them to 3. I see them putting up at least a touchdown or two, maybe 10 points, touchdown and a field goal against Michigan.
Has any team scored a touchdown against Michigan?
Yeah,
Did they?
yeah. The Rutgers scored a touchdown. Bowling Green. I don't know if that was 2 field goals or not,
Bowling Green was definitely 2 field goals.
and UNLV scored a touchdown. East
Okay.
Carolina only had a field goal.
So they're averaging what 1 touchdown a game on defense.
Yeah, essentially. Not
I
even
mean,
because there's only been a touchdown in 2 out of the 4.
yeah,
And that's what's unfortunate for us, is that
it is.
I think we've been scoring on every game, right? Except Indiana.
Yeah,
I don't know. It is what it is. You see, our defense is good. You you got to
we'll
pick and
see where
choose
we're
what
at.
areas you want to look at. You
Oh
know.
yeah,
Yeah, dude. I think that was a solid first episode. I'm proud of that.
it definitely was. It
It
definitely
felt
was a
nice.
solid first episode.
It felt nice to get it out. It's crazy how quick that went by. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
40.
sounds like it.
We're at what, like 46 now? 46
Yeah,
minutes.
47 minutes. So are we thinking Sunday? Sunday morning?
Sunday morning we can do one.
We can come back fresh with all the games.
Oh yeah. Should we put these out every Tuesday? This
I
Tuesday.
think so. We can. Do you want to do Tuesdays? It doesn't matter to me what day we do. I'm gonna
I
when
mean,
I
we
get
can.
home on Thursday. That's my half day. I'm going to go through this footage and just make sure there's really nothing I need to cut up. If it's all pretty good raw footage, I'll probably just upload the whole fucking thing.
Okay.
On Thursday I'll make a channel. Cause it's just email, password, simple shit.
Yep.
I can get us a channel. Um, Throw it up, dude.
Okay.
I
I mean,
can
we can. We're pretty new right now, so I feel like the more that we put out, definitely get you some
definitely.
views.
Yeah, we can decide on a day to throw the videos up, whether it be a Monday, a Tuesday, a Friday. It all just depends really what we cover and how we approach it.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
if we cover a lot of an upcoming game, maybe we can throw it up on a Friday, to hype up the game that's in, the next day. If
Yep.
we do an episode where it's a lot of coverage of a past game, maybe we throw it up on a Monday or a
Yep.
Tuesday after that game has been over with for 2 days. People can analyze what's going on. So we can definitely decide. Um, we can always as well do an hour and a half recording session or do 2:30s, 2:45s, cover two big topics, split them up in little ones, and upload those on a Tuesday and a Friday, if
Oh
we
yeah.
wanted to as well. If you really want to push out content like that, we can always try to get 2 in a week. I mean, they're just podcasts, so it's just very simple editing. Pretty much just record and
Yeah.
talk and throw it out there.
Yep.
But yeah,
Well, I'm
boys.
cool. I'm cool with whatever.
Hard dog sounds good to me. You heard it first,
All right.
gentlemen. This was the first episode from Traders Up North.
Traitors up north. We're
We
here to
appreciate
stay.
you guys tuning in, saying what up. First time doing this. We're proud of it. I feel like we did
For
pretty
sure.
good, man. It could have been
Yeah.
way worse. You know?
Definitely could have been. It definitely could have been way worse. If we missed some things, let us know and let us know what you want to
Yeah.
talk about.
Of course, you guys ever have any questions or concerns or anything you want to ask us about Ohio State or ourselves, be sure to comment that. We will answer all the comments, dude. No reason not to. It's not like we're
No
famous.
reason not to.
You
Want to
know?
be interactive.
Right. When there's 2,000 plus comments, maybe you miss a few. But until
Yeah.
that day comes, we're here for all of them. We're here
If
for
you
all
guys
of
want
them.
us to start covering other teams too, we're not just all about Ohio State. We're all about college football overall.
Exactly, man.
So
We can cover anything. You know, if you wanted
Well,
an hour on fucking Washington, we can do it. We
we can
can
do it.
lock in and get it done.
We can do it.
But yes, that is all for us. If you guys liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe and drop a like. Comment down below any questions you have, concerns for the team. And yeah, that's it, boys. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Thanks, fellas.